Hello friends, welcome to my new episode. Today I want to speak about chess tactics and show you a combination which is quite well known as Lasker's combination because he was first on a high level to show us how to use this tactical idea. We will start directly with his game and then I will show you an example of quite modern game. Let's learn together. Let's start right now. You see the position on the board, and this position happened in the game between Emanuel Lasker and Bauer. In this position, we can see that the bishops are looking quite good in the direction of the opponent's king. But the knight is basically breaking our attack. That's why Lasker played knight h5, trying to exchange the knights and get the clear way to the opponent's king. In this position, black decided to take on h5, which looks basically quite logical. Let's say that in case of queen takes h5, black can just play f5, just not to blunder the checkmate on h7, block a bit the bishops of white, and honestly we just want to play bishop f6 to trade this one, bishop on e5, and black would almost equalize the situation. Also they have an idea at some point to play d4 because the g2 could be also under attack. I think that is the line on which black really relied on, but returning back after knight takes h5, we are playing chess, not checkers, so it's not mandatory to take the piece, and we can even take another one. And Lasker started his famous combination. In this position he played bishop takes h7. It's just like an intro sacrifice, believe me, you may see this. King takes h7 looks logical and also forced, queen h5 check, king g8. And in this position, how to continue the attack? That's the real question. If, let's say, we try to calmly play queen g4, then f6, black wouldn't allow us to checkmate on g7, and this basically looks not bad for black at all. If, let's say, white trying to play f5, then still f6 is possible. The line could be like this, and basically black will block all the position. The same comes if we just want to improve the rook, like rook f3, trying to have rook h3 in some lines. I believe we still can play f6 and block the bishop, and the king has an escape for any case. So it's not winning for white. But what is definitely winning is bishop takes g7. A very nice move in that position. So the idea is to go queen h8 with the checkmate. It really looks like mandatory for black to take this bishop, king takes g7, and now queen goes to g4 check. That's a very nice move because now if king f6 we just have queen g5 with the checkmate, so the king needs to go on h7 and be on the h line, and now we have just rook goes to f3. Our idea is to play rook h3 checkmate, and that would be a classical line checkmate. So the idea of the whole combination is basically to destroy the king's cover and then do the checkmate. In this position, black tried the last chance e5, which after rook h3, queen h6 gives whites an extra queen, and after rook h6, queen takes h6, queen goes d7, this position is absolutely winning because white would take one of the bishops. Big decisive material advantage. Lasker won this game later on. And this combination is very well known after him. So the idea again is to destroy the king's cover of opponent. Let's now move to the next example, a more modern game I really want to show you. Here we are. That is the game of famous Grandmaster from England, Anthony Miles. He played as black here in this position. Looks like white just want to take on d6 and continue the game in a quite smooth and calm way. But we already know the Lasker's weapon. And that's why we can start with bishop takes h2. King takes h2, again mandatory, queen h4 check, king g1. The situation looks completely similar to what we used to see. But if now you play bishop takes g2 in this position, then like for sure I can't take with the king because of this same idea. Rook f6 and following rook h6 and the checkmate. It's all the same. But if we would be careful, we can admit that in this position white has an idea to play with the f pawn. And now the queen is connected to the defend. Let's say that after bishop takes f1, I can play bishop takes f1. I have like two pieces for the rook. My bishop would be replaced to g2, and the king is not struggling anymore. And that's a quite unclear position. Like, they don't want to have something like that. If you go with queen h1, just like king goes to f2, and again nothing happens. You can take, but I would take, and that would be... The game is only started, to be honest, let's say, from this position. So what to do? Is the Lasker combination is not helpful this time? No, it's basically helpful, but black needs to find an amazing bishop goes f3. The idea is to stop the f pawn from movement, and we just want to calmly improve our rook, like rook f6, rook h6. Let's say if you play g takes, then we have the similar. It doesn't matter how many pawns white have on the f line, 2 or 1, we would still do the same checkmate idea. So returning back to this position, it's really like, unfortunately again for white, nothing to do, because any move will block the position. Like, let's say bishop e2, I can play bishop g2, and now you can't control the second rank with the queen after the f-pawn movement. So the f-pawn movement is not anymore helpful in this position. Let's say after just f4, I can play queen g3, and that would be absolutely winning. For example, after rook f2, I can calmly play bishop e4 and take the queen on the next move, having a winning position. So bishop g2, again, the king takes g2 idea is not working because of check. Here, rook f6. We already know this quite perfectly. So in the game, white decided to play with like knight to d2, but it's again same day and same story. Bishop takes g2. Now, after king g2, I think we already learned all that we need to play just like this, winning this position absolutely. So that's why white tried to play f3, kind of a last chance, but now just rook goes f6. And still, the attack is in progress. The queen on c2 is out of the game because of the knight on d2, and it's nothing for white, nothing to do. King g2, rook g6, checkmate in 1, by the way. So white tried in the game knight c4, but it's too late to connect the queen. Bishop goes h3. Now the queen controls the square on f2. The rook is coming to g6, and it's a time to resign. White tried to play something here, but then after bishop g2, here, check, queen g2, rook g2, checkmate, delivered. Black won. So another amazing example of how to use the Lasker sacrifice from the quite a modern game, to be honest, in compared to the Lasker's games. I hope that with my help you learn a new tactical trick, you understand it, and now you can use it in your own games. Don't forget to share in comments your opinion about this tutorial, and I welcome you to my next videos.